The Rogue ST iron is here, and this club from Callaway could be an absolute game changer for so many golfers out there. Today we're going to do a quick review video on this thing, talk about it a little bit, and compare it to my Apex Pros that I was using last year. Now, any of my reviews, the first thing that we looked at are the looks, okay? I like to know how the club looks, how it feels, because it's so important for me as a golfer to have a club that looks good for my confidence. And off the bat, this thing is absolutely beautiful. I love the look of this. This might be one of the nicest looking irons I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, compared to my Apex Pro, it looks a little bit more forgiving, just a hair more beefy. The top line is slightly thicker. As far as the head size, it's relatively the same size as my Apex Pro, but like I said, the top line looks a little bit thicker, so it just looks a little more forgiving than my Apex Pro from 2021. Okay, like I said, I love the look of it. It looks sleek, it looks clean. It's just a really good looking club. When they sit in the bag and you look at them, they really stand out. They really catch your eye, and they're really good to look at. Now, next, let's get into some of the specs. This is gonna be the fastest face from a player's iron that Callaway has ever created. So that's one reason why I think these could be a game changer for so many golfers out there. But let's get right into the specs here. They got a new high strength 450 AI designed flash face cup. They also have the precision tungsten weighted for optimal launch. They're the patented urethane microsphere for pure feel. Now, the microsphere is moved up higher in the face than it ever has before, up to the 6th groove, and it also has a compact, workable shape. All right, guys, here's my setup. 2021 versus 2022, the Apex Pro versus the Rogue ST Pro. Now, a couple of things to notice. I do have different shafts this year than I had last year. Last year I had the KBS Money Tapers. This year I went with the KBS 130Xs. I also went 1 degree upright and 1 inch longer with my Rogue STs. Last year I was playing 1 inch longer with 2 degrees of upright. I was missing a lot of shots left and pulling shots with 2 degrees of upright. So I went with 1 degree upright this year to help with that. I did notice the one round that I played, by the way, I shot 69 that round, no big deal. But the one round I played with these so far, I was missing shots a little more right, and I think that's because of the less upright. And I think the more I play these, the more I make adjustments, the better I'm gonna hit the shots. Let's hit these two 7-irons and put them against each other. This is 33 degrees of loft, this is 30 and a half. I am noticing I'm hitting this a lot further than I am this 7-iron, which brings up one point. When you are looking to get fit, it's important to take a look at the lofts and take a look at the lofts of especially the pitching wedge, so you can understand your gapping. If you were somebody that were looking to buy the pros, I would suggest looking at the 4-iron to the gap wedge, the A wedge, as opposed to maybe a 3-iron to pitching wedge. So something to keep in mind. Regardless, let's hit the thing. Again, it looks like this is a more forgiving iron than that. It looks like it's a lot easier to hit. And, you know, like I said, I've already hit these irons. I love the way they feel, and I love the way they sound. Okay, they feel a lot softer and a lot faster than my Apex Pros, and I really like the sound they make. So we have less loft here with this 7-iron, but I'm still hitting them nice and high, and I feel like I'm spinning them pretty good too. We're gonna go inside and get our spin numbers here in a second. All right, let's pick up the Apex Pro. This is a club, the Apex Pro at least, that I've used for the last 4 or 5 years, okay? Not this one, I got these last year, but the previous models. After hitting a few out here, let's go inside. Let's see what kind of numbers we're producing on each one of these as far as launch and spin. I'd be eager to see how they match up. Let's go check it out. All right, Rogue ST's up. Let's see how the numbers compare. That one felt really good. That felt like absolute butter coming off the face. After hitting 5 shots with the Apex Pro and the Rogue ST Pro, the Apex Pro, I was averaging 177 yards carry, which is right about what my carry is typically for my 7-iron. 183 total. The Apex Pro was launching at an average of 18 degrees with a 125 mile per hour ball speed, and the average was 7,085 backspin. Okay, so all pretty good numbers, right about where I want my 7-iron for my Apex Pro, right about what I was playing it last year. Now let's look at the Rogue ST. We are averaging 185 yard carry. So that's 8 yards more carry with the Rogue ST than the Apex Pro. 191 total, so we're looking at another 8 yards difference there. It was also launching the same exact launch, 18 launch, which is pretty cool. The backspin average was 67.31, so about 300 less spin with the Rogue ST as opposed to my Pro, but that's very, very close. That's very close numbers. Also, you got to understand that there are different shafts, slightly different shafts here, so it's probably not perfectly accurate to match the heads up with the different shafts, but all these numbers are almost identical. The only thing I'm seeing different is the Rogue ST for me is going 8 yards further than my my Apex Pro. So 8 more yards, and it also felt a little bit more forgiving. A couple of those shots that were off toe and heel, it just felt more forgiving. It doesn't feel as bad as when you miss this club. I think the Apex Pro was more of a true player's club as far as the loss and the numbers and a little bit harder to hit. The Rogue ST is still a player's club as far as workability and size, but it also will help the more mid-handicap golfer. Okay, for now, for me, the Rogue ST is going to go in the bag. I could use a few extra yards with my irons. I may throw in another gap wedge as far as, because I'm running this to the pitching wedge, but we'll see what I do there. Like I said, I would recommend going from the 4-iron to the A wedge with the Rogue ST if you do pull the trigger. Like I said, give it a try next time you're getting fit. I think you're really going to be impressed with this iron right here. I'm going to it this year. I think it's really everything that you want, everything that you ask for. There's so much tech wrapped into this little head, and it's just so much fun to hit. So I hope this video helped you guys understand a little bit more about the Rogue ST. I'm super impressed with it this year. Like I said, I've been playing Apex for the last 4 or 5 years. This is probably going to be the first year that I move off the Apex line because I'm really, really excited about this club. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see how I play this year. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out. Give this video a like. And for the next video, we're actually going to head outside right now and play 9 holes with just the irons, just the new Rogue STs, and see how we do. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.